Good evening, dear women.
You're supposed to see me too.
Good evening. I would like to start with בעזרת השם שיגיע משיח צאתנו במהרה בימינו אמן. שיגיע מבשר אליהו הנביא אליהו תשבי אליהו גלעדי בן מרב ומשיח בן דוד אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב אמן כן יהי רצון. This Shabbat's parasha is called Balak. And you'll see that I'll give you the general view of this parasha. Balak is the king of Moab. He wasn't supposed to be the king of Moab, but he is the king now of Moab. And he wants to overcome the children of Israel. And what does he do? He calls Bil'am. I will speak about every detail, Bli Neder. He calls Bil'am. And he tells him that he wants him to curse the children of Israel. And he 3 times tries to curse them, and God gives them blessings. He doesn't let him do that. Now, at the 3rd time, when the 3rd time finishes, he blesses another time the children of Israel, and then he goes back shamefully, back to his place, to Tor, Ba'aram Naharaim. It's a city in Aram Naharaim, Tor. Now, the question is, how come God decided that this parasha will be called after the name of Balak? Because Balak is a Rasha. He wanted to curse the children of Israel. I would like to tell you, out of the 54 parashiyot, portions of the week that we have in the Torah, we have 54 Nun Daled parashiyot. 5 of them are called after people. The first is Noach. Noach ish tzaddik v'tamim haya bedorotav. Noach is a righteous person, a humble person in his generation. So this is the first parasha that is called after a person, and it's in Chumash Bereshit. Then we see in Chumash Shmot Yitro. Yitro, you remember, he was the father-in-law of Moshe Rabbeinu. He became Jewish, he converted, and the parasha is called over his name because he also added to the Torah when he told Moshe Rabbeinu that he wants him to select people that will be judges over the children of Israel, and he will be the big judge, and God is above him. And then we have in Chumash Bamidbar, we have 3 portions of the week that are after the names of people. The first one is Korach. Korach, you remember we spoke about it. And I told you that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he said that we need to learn from Korach his dvekut in Hashem, that he wanted to be so close to Hashem that he tried to be a Kohen Gadol that moment, and it wasn't the time. So Korach, the portion of the week, was called after his name. We have another portion of the week that is called after the name of the person, Pinchas, ben Elazar, ben Aaron HaKohen. This is for next week, Be'ezrat Hashem. The portion of next week is after the name of Pinchas. Pinchas was the one that killed at the end of this portion of the week, Zimri ben Selu, which was the president of the Shevet of the tribe of Shimon, and he also killed the Midianite that was with him. And now we have this portion of the week, Balak. So we know that Pinchas was jealous for Hashem. He wanted to fight for Hashem, for the name of God. He fought, Pinchas, and we'll see that next week in the portion of the week. But Balak wanted to curse the children of Israel. And the question is, why did Hashem put his name over there? It's very weird. It seems very weird. So I would like to tell you. It says in the Mishnah, Masechet Sotah, and the Gemara. Let's sit down and concentrate. And it says in the Gemara, Masechet Sotah, page Mem Zayin 47, it's written, Bishar 42 korbanot shikriv Balak melech Moab, which means the merit of 42 sacrifices that he did in order, it seems it's for Hashem, that Hashem will give him a permission to curse the children of Israel. Every time before Bilam wanted to curse the children of Israel, he told him to put 7 in altars on seven oxen and 7 rams. 7 rams and 7 oxen. Multiply that by 3 times that he tried to curse the children of Hashem. It's 21 plus 21, it's 42. 42 sacrifices Balak sacrificed. And 42 is out of the 42 names of Hashem. Membet Shemot Shel Ribono Shel Olam. Ana bekoach gdulat yeminecha tatir tzura. Those are the 42 names of God that we use every day. Every day has the name of God. You remember? We spoke about it. So he sacrificed 42 sacrifices for Hashem. So it says, because of, look what the Gemara says, because of those 42, the merit of those 42, even though the meaning wasn't a good meaning, but because of the 42 sacrifices, God gave him a merit. And this parasha is called over his name. It's called Zachav, and it's more than that. And the Gemara says, Zachav yatz'a mimenu Ruth. He had the merit, and Ruth Moaviyah went out of him. She's one of his descendants. Ruth Moaviyah, Balak that wanted to curse the children of Israel. It seems so weird, doesn't it? I'll give you an explanation. And because of that merit, he had Ruth Moaviyah. Eglon was his son, and from Eglon there's Oved. Oved had the son Yishai. Yishai had David HaMelech. And look how it goes, because Oved is the son. It comes from Ruth Moaviyah. It comes from the Shoshelet, and everything starts with Balak. Balak Melech Moab. And it says in the Midrash, it says Vayar Balak, and it means Vayar Balak. The first sentence starts Vayar Balak ben Tzipor. So Balak ben Tzipor saw. What did he see? Et kol asher asa Yisrael ha'emori. Everything that the children of Israel did to the Emori. Now you know at the end of last week's portion, when we spoke about Parashat Chukat, you know there were 2 wars. There was one war against Ha'emori, Sichon Melech Ha'emori, which means Sichon was the king of the Emori, and I told you he was also a giant. And the second war was against Og Melech HaBashan. It was against the Bashan. Why does Balak only mention the Emori? There were 2 wars. And I told you that Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid of Og Melech HaBashan, which means Melech is king. So when I say Og Melech HaBashan, I mean Og, the king of Bashan. He was afraid of him, and I told you why. Because he was circumcised by Avraham Avinu. He didn't have a priya, but he had a milah. And also I told you that he was the one that went to Avraham Avinu and told him about Lot, that his nephew was taken by 4 kings. So Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid of him. So why doesn't Balak mention him? I want to tell you that Balak was a big person looking at the stars. He knows. Odani istakel b'tzdagonot. B'tzdagonot means he knew what is going to happen in the future by the stars. He knew how to read them. Yes, astrology. He knew. We call it today astrology, but it's called listakel b'tzdagonot in Hebrew. So he knew how to look at it, and he knew the future. And why did he mention the Emori? And he did not mention Og Melech HaBashan. I told you what happened with Og. That he took a big rock like a mountain in order to throw it on the children of Israel. And the mountain that he picked up was so big, so God told the ants to eat it from inside. And then they ate everything. Everything became dust. And when they ate it from the inside, all what was left of it was a ring. So the ring fell on his head, and he couldn't open his mouth because it was over his mouth. He was afraid that it will break his teeth. And Moshe Rabbeinu, which was the height of 10 amah, Asara amah, he took a sword that was also the length of Asara amah, 10 amah, and he jumped, it says, the Midrash says, 10 amah, and he put the sword in his knee, in Og Melech HaBashan's knee, and he fell backwards. It's a big miracle. And in the Emori it says that the sun stayed in the sky until they finished all the war over there with the Emori. But why was he afraid of the Emori? Because it's written at the end of last week's portion, Parashat Chukat. It's written like this. I'll write the board so I can write it over here. I'm sorry, but it seems that the board is not so doesn't have any balance. So it's written over it's written Vayaku. On the war of Bashan, it's written Vayaku. The children of Israel stroke. They gave a big defeat to the Bashan, but it's written by Yaku, which means they strike them. If I'm saying that word, struck them. Thank you. They struck them by Yaku, which means they struck a lot of people together. In Hebrew, Vayaku means in plural, which not in a singular. Do you know what a singular is? When a person alone does it. But look at Vayakehu. About the war against Amori, it's written Vayakehu in singular, בלשון יחיד, לא בלשון רבים, Vayakehu in singular, and over here it's in plural, which means that when the children of Israel were fighting the Amori, they loved each other. They were just like one person. So Balak was afraid of this war because he was afraid of the unity of the children of Israel. Lo lechinam, it's not in vain that it's written like this over here. It's not in vain that God told Moshe Rabbeinu to write Vayar Balak and he will be afraid of the Amori. God gives us a hint. He wants us, he tells the children of Israel that our power is when we are united, when we are together, when we have unselfish love, when we love each other, a true love, unconditional love. Only then we have a lot of power, because then when we daven to Hashem, Hashem listens to us, and then Hashem fights our wars. It says, God tells us, Ani aseh lachem milchama v'atem tachrishun, I will do your wars. You don't have to do anything. You just need to be united. You just need to love each other. That's the meaning. That's why he was afraid of the war. He remembered the war of the Amori because he was afraid of the unity of the children of Israel. When they are united, when they love each other. And if you look over there, it's beautiful. You'll see it in the Hebrew language. Because when you translate it, it seems the same in English. But in Hebrew, this is in a singular phase over here. Vayakehu, which means as like one person. Just like when they stood around the mountain of Sinai. Vayichan Sham. Zot omeret, all of them were standing over there as one person with one heart. It's the same thing because they loved each other. And today I would like to tell you something. Those months, I'm going to speak about Tammuz and the Hebrew months of Tammuz and Av. I'm going to speak about Bli Neder from next week's. Yud Zayin B'Tammuz is next week, the fast of Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. So I'm going to speak about it next week. But I would like to tell you something. Those 2 months and the month of Tevet, 3 months we have Tammuz, Av, and Tevet are very hard months. Yes, they are hard, very. Listen very carefully, dear women. There are months of judgment, shel dinim, ele chodashim shel dinim. The Satan rules those months. When Yaakov Avinu and Esav divided the Hebrew months between themselves, Yaakov Avinu took all the months except for Tammuz, Av, and Tevet. Those are the months that Esav took, that his angel controls them. It's not only judgment over the children of Israel, it's judgment over the whole world, all nations. So I would like to tell you something. Don't fight with anyone. Don't get angry. If you get angry, remember that I told you it's not good to fight with people in those months. Don't fight with, it's not good anyway to fight with anyone. But especially on these months, Tammuz, B'Av. Excuse me?
With the boys?
Yes, with no one. Don't fight. Try not to fight.
What do you mean?
Judgment, high level judgment.
לריב, לכעוס על מישהו. כי עכשיו שולט הסמך מם. In these months, dear women, the samech mem rules. Listen very carefully. The angel of Esav is Satan. Is the bad spirit. He's the bad spirit. It's Satan. It's also the angel of death. And those months he rules over the world. God is above everyone. But we need to remember not to get into a fight, not to answer not nicely to a person. Even if a person curses us, don't answer back. We need two people in order to have a fight. One person can't fight with himself. So don't do that. Remind yourselves, okay? Remind yourselves to be calm.
So it's
because
the next month, right? The next
this month and the next month, both months, we are already in Tammuz. We are all at the middle of Tammuz. Today it's Yud Bet Tammuz. We are already at the middle of Tammuz. Okay, Yud Zayin Bet Tammuz is next week. We are going to have the fast next week on Tuesday. So I would like to remind you, don't fight with anyone. Even if somebody, even if someone does not speak nicely to you, be polite. Timchelu al kvotchem. Don't think about your ego or your respect. Leave it alone. God sees everything. Be careful. Careful from accidents, car accidents, everything. Those are months that you should be careful. I want this month and the next month. The Tammuz, Av, et Tevet. 3 months. But now we have those 2 months, Tammuz and Av. That's why you can see that the ruining of the temple started on the 17th of Tammuz of this month and ends at Tisha B'Av, at the 9th of Av, because this is the time of the angel of Esav. That's why it's very, very important to remember. Not to get hungry. Slicha?
All of them
Ken. Hakol, Tammuz B'Av. Yes, I'm going to speak about the 3 weeks when we start the 3 weeks, Bezat Hashem.
3 weeks before Tisha B'Av, right?
From Yud Zayin B'Tammuz until Tisha B'Av, I'm going to speak about it. We also will learn the halachot of last year. I did it also. We're going to study also halachot Bezrat Hashem for Tisha B'Av, and I would like to tell you that next week is the Parashat Pinchas. So I will give you the beginning. I will start to speak. You'll see all the 3 weeks. We'll be discussing the 3 weeks. And I will compare it to Rosh Hashanah and the days of before Rosh Hashanah and after Rosh Hashanah, between Rosh Hashanah and the Atzeret, Bezrat Hashem. We'll speak about it, but from next week. Now we're in Parashat Balak. I just wanted to mention in order, because we are in the month of Tammuz, that you will remember that in your minds, not to get angry. You know what, if we practice not to get angry, we can do that the whole year then. Because if we can do that for 2 months, Bezrat Hashem, all 12 months will be easy for us. Exactly. The other 10 months will be easy for us.
We're going to win.
So let's continue. There's another, you can see that it says also, if you continue, it says, Vayagar Moav ipnei ha'am me'od ki rav hu. It says that Moab were afraid of the children of Israel because they were numerous, which means they were a lot of people. So it says Ki Rav Hu. And again you see the same thing. God wants us to see how unity is very important, because it was supposed to be written Ki Rabim Hem. And when you translate it in English, it's very hard, because it's the same thing in English, because it says Ki Rabim Hem in Hebrew means that there were a lot of people, but in plural. Okay, in Hebrew you write as a singular, and plural is over here, you see Rabim. It was supposed to be written in the Torah like this, Ki Rabim Hem. They were afraid because there were a lot of people. But instead it's written Ki Rav Hu, which means, again, singular, in singular phrase, which means again that they were afraid of the unity of the children of Israel. I would like to tell you that if we were united today, and we weren't killing each other, if we loved each other, I would like to tell you all the nations were afraid of us. We wouldn't have any problem with anyone, because God would have made all the wars for us. We wouldn't think about the nations at all. They would love us and behave nicely to us.
But in Israel, as soon as Chas v'Shalom, but the war starting, whole country is united, Baruch Hashem. So many wars, we saw it. Yom Kippur, Shlomo Galil, and everything. I was in Shlomo Galil in Israel. People was gathering and sending the mishlochim to the army, to people. whole country was together.
Wait,
really.
do we need to wait for a war in order to be chas v'chalila? Do we need to wait for pogromim? We need to wait for pogrom chas v'chalila? Do we need something bad to happen to us in order that we'll remember that we are... No, you know what? I would like to tell you, when our enemies want to do something to us, they do not remember if we are Bukharian Jews or Yemenite Jews or Ashkenazi Jews or we are Russian Jews. They do not. They don't look at it at all. If we are religious Jews or non-religious, they do not define between us. They don't see the difference. They see us as Jews. That's what God wants us to see. Why does He send us enemies? To remind us that we are all His children and He loves each one of us. And if we look very carefully, we became Yemenite Jews or Ashkenazi Jews or Bukharian or Georgian. We became because of our sins. We sinned in the second temple, and the second temple was ruined, and God just spread us all over the world. It's not because we were very good at that time. So this wasn't supposed to happen. If we will remember that we need to love each other. So from the beginning, from the root, we should be okay. We shouldn't wait, God forbid, for a war, because we do not know what's going to happen. We should be kind to each other. We should love each other. We should remember that before something bad happens. And every time, if you'll see, the history repeats itself. You know, a nation that does not remember its past doesn't have neither a present or a future. If we do not remember our past, and you can see that everything that happened before the Holocaust is happening right now in front of our eyes. Everything is happening right now in front of our eyes. And I would like to tell you, if you you're right, and I would like to tell you, and we do not even have a full generation from the Holocaust. And God forbid we should not forget that. So we don't need to wait so something will happen to us. We need to remember that before something happens, in order that it won't happen, and Mashiach will come with chesed, with kindness, instead of dinim, of judgment. Because it depends on us. If he comes on the time that was already decided for him, if he comes then, it will be with judgment. But if he comes before, it will be with kindness, because we remembered Hashem and ourselves, we remembered to love each other. That's the important thing, the unity. Look how Balak was afraid of the unity of the children of Israel. Because he saw that in the war of Emori, God stopped the sun. He did not let the sun come down. He stopped it in the sky. This is above nature. And God does miracles for the children of Israel, which are above nature, when the children of Israel love each other. There is not Yirat Shamayim. There couldn't be any Yirat Shamayim if there isn't any love between us. Because if we do respect Hashem and we do love Hashem, then we have to love each other. We can't say we love Hashem, but we do not love His children. It's like you are parents. Everybody over here is a parent. If somebody does not love your son or your daughter, he doesn't love you. You'll be angry at him. Why doesn't he love my children? So God sees the same thing. We are His children. He says, if you don't love my children, how can you love me?
Exactly.
It's the same thing. We are His children. And don't forget, in this world, physical world, each one of us has his own shape, physical shape. And we are divided. But all of us are one soul. We are combined to one soul, all of the Jewish nation. So we are more than sisters. We are part of the body of each other. Part of our soul is and part of each one. Exactly, because we are coming from one soul. So we are part of each other. And if God forbid one of us does a sin, it goes all of the children of Israel are punished. Not only he is punished and his family, but all of the children of Israel, then all of the world is punished. But if we do a mitzvah, all of us gain from it. And all the world gains from it. Because of all of us. So it depends on us, what do we do? And the question is again, Vaya, what did Balak see? And I would like to tell you a beautiful midrash. It says that Balak saw exactly what Korach saw. And you will tell me, what did Korach see? So there's something beautiful in Parashat Korach, and I would like to give it over here. Rashi says, what did Korach see? It's written like this. Rashi says, "Vekorach shepikeach haya." Korach was very smart. Ma ra'a lishtut zo. Why did he do this stupid thing? Why did he go against Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron? So look what Rashi says. Eino hit ato. His eye. He doesn't say his eyes. His eye caused him to make a mistake. Well, this is very weird. We see with both of our eyes, and it's not written that Korach had one eye, that he saw with one eye. We can say about Bilam, he one eye he couldn't see with one eye, but with the other eye he did see. But over here Korach was healthy. So why does Rashi say Eino hit ato, one eye caused him to make the mistake? Ra'a shoshelet gdola yotz'a mimenu, which means he saw like a big person coming out of him, which was Shmuel HaNavi, that he was considered exactly like Moshe ve'Aaron. So he said, if Shmuel HaNavi comes out of me, which means he should be either my son or in the future generations that I'm going to have, God is going to help me because he was worthy as Moshe ve'Aaron. God is, right? Yes, so God is going to help him. What did Balak see? Balak, I told you, looked in the stars and he saw that Mashiach ben David is coming out of him. That he can see Mashiach ben David, and he told it to the older people in Moab. Yes, Balak saw that. So he said, if I have the soul of Mashiach ben David inside me, I should win the war. How should I do that? I have a merit. He already knew, and I will show you in the Ketuvim how did he know that.
David always was winning, right?
David, it's Mashiach. It's the Mashiach. It's not a person, a regular person. Mashiach ben David is going out of his generation. Listen, I'll give you everything. So he saw that too. This is what he saw, so he thought he can win, because otherwise he should have been afraid to go against the children of Israel. After he saw the miracles that God did to the children of Israel, it was above nature. Zeteva Chacham, it's a wise nature. I already told you about a wise nature in Parashat Korach. So it says, why wasn't he afraid? Because he saw what Korach saw. He saw that a great person is supposed to go out in his future generations from him. And the question goes back, so why does Rashi says only one eye? So I would like to tell you, dear women, I told you that the eyes have kedusha in them. They are very pure, and they have kedusha in them. And what is the kedusha? If you look again at the word ayin, in Hebrew ayin, I told you that ayin is 70, yud is 10, and nun is 50. Together it's 130. If I have two eyes, you multiply. You have 260. It's the name, 10 times the name of God. Look, dear women, the eyes that we look with are very holy. That's why it's so important to look at holy things. That's why when a woman goes out of the mikveh, it's very important that she will look only at holy things.
Where can I find them?
Your husband.
I would like to tell you, dear women, but Rashi says his eye. Why do we have two eyes? Why, wasn't it enough that God will bring us one eye in the middle? Why do we need to have two eyes? So the Midrash says, look how beautiful it is, how it's connected to Rashi. Rashi says, Eino, his eye caused him to make a mistake. One eye. So the other eye was okay, because it doesn't mention it. So we have two eyes, Baruch Hashem. Why? Because one eye is in order to look at Hashem and to remember that He is the owner of the vineyard. He created the world. We are His. This is our obligation. One eye is to remember the holiness of Hashem. But the other eye is in order to remind ourselves how small we are in this world. That we come as visitors to this world. That we do not need to have a swollen ego. We do not need to have pride. We need to know our place in this world. This is the other eye. And so if the right eye saw... So if the eye saw, Korach knew that God is the owner of the world. But the eye that he was supposed to look at himself, he didn't see that. That eye that he was supposed to judge himself, with that eye he didn't look right. That's why he caused himself so much trouble. And then the earth swallowed him. And Balak did the same thing. That's why he lost the war. Because he did not look with that eye over himself to understand he doesn't have the merit that from him exactly this soul will go out. But there was another secret. I told you already that when the Samech Mem, how does the impurity survive in this world? So the impurity can survive in this world only when it is fed by purity. It has to be fed by purity. Has to. For example, when Bet HaMikdash was built and it was standing, then when they put sacrifices, there were usually the smoke from the sacrifices from the north side. Then all of the bad angels and all of the sitracha, they used to eat it from there. This was their food, from the sacrifices, because they have to have holy things in order to survive in this world. So I told you the name of the bad angel is called the Samech Mem. I'll write his name like this, Samech Mem over here, and I'll finish his name here. El, which means God, this is pure. This is pure. How does the Samech Mem survive? Because I told you first of all the world was created from letters. How does he survive? He survived that the mem is open. You see an open mem? Because we have two mems, a closed one and an open one. The mem that is open eats from El. This is how the Samech Mem survives. Because the impurity survives because they are fed by the purity. So now I will give you an example. What happened with Balak? Balak said to his people, he said to them, you know what? I have a pure soul inside me, and we are surviving because of that pure soul that is supposed to go out of me in the future generations. But the children of Israel, once they come in, they take all of the purity, all the nitzotzot, all the sparkles, the good neshamot, the good souls, they take out of the place that they go in. You remember that the children of Israel went out of Egypt, and how many pure neshamot did Moshe Rabbeinu take out of there? Erev Rav, it says 202 Rav, 202 nitzotzot. I already told you that it says in Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'haaretz et hatov v'vohu v'choshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elokim merachefet al pnei hamayim, which means that the soul of the spirit of God was all over the water, and it's written merachefet, which merachefet, and you will look, merachefet means in Hebrew Rafach Harizal Zchutot Hagen Alalo says it means that 288 pure souls went out and were put inside impurity. And how do we know that? If you look over here, Rafach, this mem taf means met, death. So those pure souls were covered with impurity. The pure souls. And if we will look at the pure souls and we add the numbers, so 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 2 is 18, which means zechai, which means living souls that are pure, that have merit, are inside impure. So what did Balak want? Look at the beautiful, it's part of the Pardes. So Balak didn't want the children of Israel to take the purity from them, because they survive because of that. Otherwise they won't survive. The Samech Mem needs the purity in order to survive. So does Balak and Moab need the purity in order to survive, because they don't do the word of Hashem. So he saw that. And how do we know that he told that to the elderly people of Moab and Midian? Because it says that when they came to Bil'am in order to offer him that he will come with them to Balak and then curse the children of Israel, it says, Uksamim beyadam. It's uksamim beyadam. They came with their hand, it says like magic in their hands. But why do they have to write beyadam? Beyadam seems that it wasn't supposed to be there. It's enough to say uksamim ve'yavo el Bilam. They brought also magic with them, and they went to Bilam. They did not need to have Be'adam in their hands. But Be'adam means that they came to Bilam and said, you know what? We have captured in us the soul of Ben, Yishai, David, Mashiach.
Wow.
Look how beautiful it is. They came to Bilam and they are telling him, listen, Mashiach ben David is captured within us, his soul, and we survived because of that. That's why Be'adam is over there, and we survived because of that. And I would like to tell you, dear women, there are two versions, more than that, I'm going to give you two versions. You will tell me, but it's written over here, Vayar Balak ben Tzipor. It's not written over here that he's a king. Balak ben Tzipor, Saul. So it means that he wasn't part of the royalty. And Rashi says it's true that Balak ben Tzipor was only a prince in Midian, and not in Moab. And the Ramban says that Balak was one of the ministers in Moab. He wasn't royalty. But because of Tzavasha, because they were afraid of the children of Israel, and he was the one that was looking all the time on the children of Israel and what they are doing, and telling on Moabim that they need to be very careful from the children of Israel, they put him as a king. And I would like to tell you something. That I would like to draw something. Look at Moab. Moab, the kingdom of Moab, wasn't close to Midian. This is the kingdom of Moab. Close to Moab, from the east side, from Mizrach, the east and the south, was the kingdom of Edom. The kingdom of Edom, over here. And south to Edom was the kingdom of Midian. And I would like to tell you that they hated each other, the Moabim and the Midianim. And you can see through all the chapter, they were working together. So it seems very weird. And why didn't Moab go to Edom and they went to Midian? Midian had cultural relationship between them and Egypt. Here's Yam Suf, and Egypt is here. They had cultural relationships between them. So the question, why did they go if they hated each other? Why did they join forces? So there's a beautiful midrash about it, and it says that there were once two dogs that hated each other. They used to fight all of the time. And once came a wolf and wanted to eat one of them. So the wolf started to fight with that dog, and he wanted to eat him. But the other dog that was always in a situation of war with that dog said to himself, the wolf is very hungry. He's going to eat my enemy, but then he will be hungry again, and he will come and eat me. So it's better that I will help him to overcome that wolf in order that he won't come later and eat me. So this is the same thing. They say to themselves, the Midianim said, in order that there won't be any problem later with the children of Israel, we will join forces, and then we will overcome the children of Israel, and then they won't come and fight with us. But there was another reason. Another reason is that you remember Moshe Rabbeinu, when he flew from Egypt, he flew to Midian. You remember? Yitro was Kohen Midian, was a priest of Midian. And he flew to Midian. And it says when he flew to Midian, over there he saw Yitro, and Yitro gave him his daughter. So they said that the children of Israel, their fights are not regular fights. It's above nature. We have to know what is their power. So they sent messengers to Midian, and the Midianim told them their power is in their mouth. Hakol Kol Yaakov, which means the speech is the speech of Yaakov, the voice is the voice of Yaakov. And Bilam said to them, when you hear the children of Israel in the yeshivot and in the shuls praying and davening to Hashem, you cannot touch the children of Israel. Because those are pure souls that daven to Hashem, you cannot touch them. When we as mothers take our children to yeshivot and to the shul to teach them the heritage of the children of Israel, to teach them the ways of Hashem, nobody can touch us. So it says, Hakol Kol Yaakov, they win with their mouth, with their davening, with their prayers, with kavanah, from all of their heart. This is why they win. So they said to themselves, if that's so, we should use the same weapon. So they went to whom? To Bil'am. Bil'am was a prophet. God gave the nations prophet that will be like, b'merchaot, like Moshe Rabbeinu. And you will ask me, why did he give them a prophet? Because in Achrit HaYamim, God said, I do not want the nations to come to me and say, well, if you would have given us a prophet like Moshe Rabbeinu, we would have worked for you, we would worship you, but we didn't have any prophet. So God said, I will give you a prophet. And look at Bil'am HaRasha. He was a big prophet. It says, Yodea Da'at Elyon. He had the knowledge of God. He knew when, it says, the Gemara says, he knew when God gets angry. He was the only one who knew when God is angry on the world. And God is angry on the world, it's lifnot boker, it's in the morning, very early in the morning. And how long is he angry? Rega, it says in Tehillim. 1 minute he's angry. And it says, listen very carefully, dear women. It says that he gets angry only 1 minute, and Bil'am knew that minute. And that's why Balak says, I know that he who you bless is blessed, and he that you curse is cursed. Because once he cursed the people, at that minute that God is angry, the curse came true. God forbid. And I would like to tell you the merit that God did to the children of Israel. Not only he did not let him curse, but he did not get angry those days, God. He did not, the Gemara says he did not get angry. And I would like to ask you, why does God need anger? Because we know that Adam, כשיש שולט בו כעס, כל מיני גיהינום שולטים בו. A man that is angry, it's not a good thing. It's not a good characteristic for a person to get angry. But once he's angry, all kinds of hell are above him and they control him. So why does God get angry? It says that this is ka'as de kedusha. This is anger from holiness. Why? Because God says you cannot overcome Yetzer Hara, the bad spirit. In order to overcome the bad spirit, you need every day to make the good spirit, להרגיז את היצר הטוב על יצר הרע, to make the good spirit get angry over the bad spirit. In order to do that, God gets angry a minute every day, and from that exactly like a shefa of anger comes to us, so we can do that. We can make the good spirit angry over the bad spirit in order that we won't do averot, we won't do sins.
How should we know
We won't sin. Sorry?
How should we know?
We don't know that, but we have it inside us. It sprinkles over us every day and every day. Do you understand? So it's that's why we need that anger, because then it flows over us in order that we will have anger the kedusha, anger that which means anger with purity, so we can help ourselves overcome the Yetzer Hara by making the Yetzer Hara, the good spirit, overcome the Yetzer Hara, making it angry over the Yetzer Hara, over the bad spirit. And so those days, it says, God made a miracle. He did not become angry. And I have to tell you that he sees that. It says, shh, listen very carefully. Dear women, it's important. It says, Ma ekov, listen how Bil'am was so smart. He says, Ma ekov lo kavo el. How can I curse if God did not curse? And how can I become angry if God did not become angry? Listen very carefully what he says in the Katuv. So it says that he knew that God made a miracle to the children of Israel. He did not become angry those days. Listen, look at the beautiful miracles that God did for us. This is a big merit. And I would like to tell you, when he says that, Bil'am HaRasha, Ma ekov lo kavo el, u'ma ezom lo za'am Hashem. I would like to write the sentence on the board, because it's a very important sentence. It's written, I know it's late, but let me give you a few things that are very important in the parasha. It's written, Ma ekov velo kavo el. לא ולא, מה אקוב? לא כבוא, מה יזעום? ולא I would like to tell you, dear women, it continues and it says, Ki merosh tzurim arenu, I can see him. I can see the children of Israel above the rocks, umigvot, and above the hills. Ashuren and am levadad ishkonu v'goim lo yitchashav. They are always in separation from other nations. And I would like to tell you something. This is a beautiful thing. I would like to give it to you. You know what? Maybe I will finish with this. I will give you something about the donkey because I can't go through. Yes, the she-donkey. You can see that God tells, I will finish with this. I would like to give you something because it says that God, at the first time when the messengers come to Bilam, they come to him and Bilam tells them, stay with me overnight and I will ask God if he allows me to go and curse the children of Israel to go with you. So they stay overnight and God tells him, you are not allowed to go and curse, to go with them, and you are not allowed to curse the children of Israel because they are a blessed nation. I bless them. And then the second night, again, so Balak thinks maybe I didn't bring very important messengers to him, so I'll bring other messengers, then they are more important. So they come over there, and he tells them the same thing. You should stay overnight, and then meanwhile the messengers from Midian go back home because they understand that nothing will happen over here. And the ones from Moab stay. And at that night, God tells him, you can go with those people. And the question is, how come? God doesn't change his mind like a human being. If God said no in the beginning, how come he told him yes at the second night? The second time they came. It seems very weird. And I would like to tell you, when God told Bilam, you are not allowed to curse him, he shouldn't even have told this the second time the messengers came to stay over there, because God told him you are not allowed to curse them. But look how the chutzpah of Bilam. Chutzpah, the money, he couldn't see with his eyes, the chutzpah that he had. He said maybe he would change his mind. God changes his mind. He's infinity. He doesn't change his mind. Baruch Hashem that he's not a human being. Baruch Hashem, he delivers till the end. He doesn't do half of the way. He goes with us till the end. Baruch Hashem. So if we put our souls in his hand, we know that we are protected. Truly in his hand, without any fear. We know that he will show us the way and direct us exactly in the way we should go. Because he does not do half of the work. He does the whole work. And we are his children. It's like parents. We will take care of our children. Even when we are old, we will take care of our children. Because that is how we are. Because those are our children. We are the children of Hashem. So he delivers till the end. So I would like to ask you, how come God told him at the beginning, don't go, and then he tells him, go? And it's very weird. Just a minute. And I would like to tell you something. The Vilna Gaon says something beautiful about it. It says like this: when he comes when they come at the first time, he says, "Lo telech imahem, lo telech imahem." He says, you will not go with them. You will not join them. And then the second time he tells him, "Kum lech itam." And what is the difference? And then you will see, I'll answer it in a minute, and then you will see God is very angry with Bilam that he goes with them. Now this is very confusing. He'll say, at the beginning he said don't go with them. The second time he said go with them. And now that he's going with them, God is angry with him. So what's going on here? Why is he angry? Because he told him, he says, Kum lechitam, go with them. He says, arise and go with them. So Gaon Mevilna says a beautiful thing about it. He says, look, there's a difference between imahem. You see, in English you don't have the difference. Go with them in both ways. And there's a difference when you use the term itam. There's a difference, imahem, which means im. When a person goes im someone, both of them is with them. And the person goes et someone, both of them is going with them. But in Hebrew there's a big difference. When a person goes imahem, im, he goes with his heart with that person. He thinks the same thoughts. He wants to do the same things. But when a person goes itam, kum lech itam, he says go with them. Over here with the word itam in Hebrew, he means et means you go with them, but you are not going with the same intention. Your heart is not one with them.
That's a difference.
You understand the difference? The Gaon of Vilna says, "Zchutot hagen aleinu." This is the big difference. God told him, "Lo telech imahem," you will not be part of them, one in heart. You won't be one with them, which means with your intentions and with your thoughts with them. He says, "Kum lech itam," you will go with them, but you will go without the same intention, and you won't without, and your heart will not follow them. You understand it? And then what does he do? It says like this. And just a minute. And it says like this, that he goes im. I wrote it over here, and I'll find it. Just give me a minute. It says, Vayakam Bilam, and Bilam woke up in the morning. Vayachvosh et chamoro, he was the one that he took his she-donkey and he put everything on it instead of calling his slave to do it. He did it on his own because he was in a rush to curse the children of Israel. Bekatuv Vayelech im Sarei Moab. It's written Vayelech, and he went im. Look, Sarei Moab. And then he went with them with the word im in Hebrew, which means he went with one heart. He wanted to curse the children of Israel in any way that he could. Do you understand? This is the big difference. So it says that God sent an angel, and Rashi says an angel of mercy he sent over there, and the angel stood over there with a sword. And who saw the angel? The she-donkey. I don't know. He did not see the angel. The donkey saw the angel. It seems that God wanted to hint to him, look, I am the one that gave you the opportunity to speak. I am the one that controls everything in this world. If I can give this donkey the ability to speak, and this donkey, piat, on the mouth of the donkey was created, beben arba'im ben hashmashot be'erev Shabbat, in the beginning, bebereshit, at the beginning on before Shabbat, on Friday before Shabbat, the mouth of the donkey was created. That mouth of the donkey, God foresees everything till the end of days.
This was one of the 10.
Yes, one of the 10 things that were already created. Yeah. So God wanted to say, he who slanders other people, he who wakes up in the morning just like Bilam, Vayakem Bilam baboker. He woke up. How does he wake up? By God giving a merit to a person and brings back his soul into his body. It's just like, how do we wake up in the morning? Because God has chesed, mercy over us, and He brings us back our soul into the body. Otherwise we won't wake up. And instead of going with this good energy that God gave us to do a mitzvah, to do a good thing, a good deed, he goes and does a bad thing. He wants to curse the children of Israel. So God says, listen, this is a moral thing that we should study. Do not use the mouth, the holy mouth that I gave you, in order to do bad things, in order to fight or to curse, because I gave you this ability to speak. It's written that God gave at the beginning nefesh chaya, and Onkelos says ruach memalela. Nefesh chaya means, Onkelos says, the ability to speak, to communicate. So God says, I give you this merit, and this is what you do with it. So the donkey speaks, but this is after 3 times that the donkey stops during the way she stops. And he hits her, and then she turns and speaks with him and tells him, why do you hit me? I am so loyal to you. I am your she-donkey. Don't you remember how loyal I am for you, towards you? So, and then he understands, and he says, Chatati LaHashem. Look how armumi, how
sneaky.
Okay. How sneaky he is, because he knows that when a person says Chatati, Aviti, Pashati, the bad angels cannot touch him, because in the sky, once you say a vidui, God says to the angels, you see, my son already, my daughter did the vidui, and she already says that she did, and she says she did a bad thing. You cannot touch her. I need to see that she did a whole tshuva. He gives us the merit. That's why it's so important to say vidui. So look how many, we have a lot of more of things that and halachot and laws that we study from this chapter. But I'll give you just, what I'm giving you is what I can right now. So I would like to tell you, when he says, when I'm going back, when he tells, and the donkey speaks to him, the she-donkey speaks to him, and she tells him, she says, you want to go and curse people, it says, כי קיטני זה 3 פעמים, ויפתח השם את פי האתון, ותאמר לבלעם, מה עשיתי לך? What did I do to you? And you hit me 3 times, but it's not, he doesn't say 3 times. He says, she says, 3 רגלים. לא 3 פעמים in Hebrew, 3 רגלים. And why does the she-donkey uses the term רגלים?
In plural.
It's not legs, regalim. 3 regalim are the 3 holidays that are from the Torah, that we go to Jerusalem. It is Sukkot, Pesach, the Shavuot. He tries to hint to him, you're going to curse the nation that goes up to Jerusalem 3 times a year, b'shalosh regalim. Otherwise it would have been written 3 פעמים, 3 times you hit me. But it's written 3 regalim, she tells him, regalim, in order to hint him.
What's the exact translation of regalim?
Regalim is also holidays. High holidays. Those are the high holidays. Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot, which the children, he says, she hints to him, this nation goes to Jerusalem. All of them go. They leave the house, everything. Yes, they go to Jerusalem when the temple is there. On 3 regalim, they go over there and they daven, and none of them say something if it's, tzafuf, if they cannot move, if there are a lot of people, nobody has any complaints. And you want to curse this nation? Look how many hints are over there. But I would like to tell you, Bil'am knows that God loves the children of Israel, and he knows that he can't curse them, and he blesses them. And I would like, he tells Balak, "My kover lo kavael." How can I curse? And God did not curse. There's a lot of the Pardes and the Zohar Kadosh from this, but I won't give it right now. I'll give you something else that is connected from the Pardes, but something in a different view. Uma ezom velo za'amel. And how can I be angry and God wasn't angry? God did not become angry in those days. So it says, I will give you explanation. Pay attention that he uses Ma'eko velo kava'el. This is one name of God. And then he uses Yud Kei Vav Kei, the second name of God over here. Both of them are names of mercy. Why did he use those names? And this is from the Pardes. Look how beautiful it is. He says to himself, Ma'eko velo kavael. Why? How can I curse? And God did not curse. They are blessed. How they are blessed? By the name of God El. How do we know that? And by the name of God which protects them, Yud Kei Vav Kei. How did he know that? He said to himself, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. If you count the letters, all letters, you'll see it's 13. Then he says the 4 mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, it's also 13. Together it's 26. All of the names of our 4 fathers and our 4 mothers are combined to 26. The name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei. Each one of them, 13 is Echad. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Each one of them.
What do you mean each one of them?
The 4 fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, all of them combined to 13. Right. 13 is Echad, Dalet is 4, 8 is Echet is 8, and Aleph is 1. Together it's 13. Equals 13. So our 4 fathers and our 4 mothers, all of them together are combined to Echad. All of the letters, I told you the letters have power. So together they protect the children of Israel with the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei. So you'll tell me, where comes the name El? So look how beautiful it is. If you take the letters, you add to this the second name of Yaakov. What is the second name of Yaakov? Israel. Israel. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. 5 plus 26 is 31. El is 31. Lamed is 30. Aleph is 1. Together it's 31.
Wow.
When the children of Israel have a higher level, spiritual higher level, when they love each other, they are called Israel. When they are doing what Hashem wants them to do, they are called Israel. So it says that the children of Israel, when it's combined, the two names of Yaakov and Israel, the name of El protects them. Look how beautiful it is. So Be'ezrat Hashem, I would like to tell you, this is the name, and I will give you another connection and we'll stop here. I will wipe this board over here. I would like to show you.
Okay, אני חושבת שאת בוחקת למטה.
No. So let's look at Israel. Let's do the gematria of Israel. Yaakov v'Kra Satan.
What is Vekra Satan?
Kra Satan is the name of God for Monday. You remember? Kabel ridat amecha sadvenu ta'arenu nora. Kra Satan, which means tear Satan. We don't want Satan anymore. Take him away. So look, Yaakov, Kuf is 100, Ain is 70, Yud is 10, and Bet is 2. Together it's 182. Israel equals, Lamed is 30, Aleph is 1, Reish is 200, Shin is 300, and Yud is 10. Together it's 541. Now let's go to Kra Satan. Kuf is 100, Reish is 200, Ain is 70, Shin is 300, and Tet is 9, and Nun is 50. How much is it? Quickly, 300 ועוד 300, 670, 729. If you add both of them,
571.
541
from 729
and 182. It's how much is it together?
700.
What you going to say?
I want to add it together.
182 and 149?
541 and 182. It's 723 over here. 723, and you add the five letters of Israel.
5 or 6?
No, 5 letters of Israel. You have 728.
Where's the 1?
It's okay. In Gematria, you're allowed to have klal echad shel echad. It goes, which means you remember that, and we have it in Bereshit. You remember by Bereshit that Yaakov Avinu was fighting with the angel of Esav, and the angel told him, "Now you're not going to be called Yaakov." Now you're not going to be called Yaakov. I'll tell you what the problem is. I didn't write the vav over here. Even though, look how beautiful it goes. Even without the vav. The vav Yaakov is going to be added when Be'ezrat Hashem b'achrit hayamim. But if you add the vav over here, it's over here. It's 188.
Then it's going to be...
Yes. And if you add both of them, it's 729 exactly. Exactly. But even though the vav is not here, still it's 728.
Because we add
yes, even though, because you look everywhere you look in the Mikra, Yaakov is written without a vav. But you know, in Achrit Hayamim, Yaakov is going to be added. He's going to have the vav. You know where the vav comes from? From Esav. Esav. The vav of Esav is going to go back to Yaakov. That's the vav of the tikkun of Achrit Hayamim. The vav of Esav is going to come back to Yaakov. And if you join Yaakov and Israel, it's against Kra Satan. Both names of Yaakov and Israel are joined together in order to overcome the bad spirit. Listen, dear women, you see over here, that's why the angel, you remember that the angel told Yaakov, after he fought with him and he saw that he couldn't win, and then he hurt he hurt him, Elyashiv. So it says that he told him, the angel, your name is not going to be called Yaakov anymore, but Israel. Why? Because he knew that if you join the name Israel with the name of Yaakov, we can overcome Satan. Do you understand? If we join this, he cannot touch the children of Israel, both names of Israel, because we are called Bnei Yaakov, Bnei Israel. Because if we were called, you remember all of the blessings come to Yaakov. Because if the blessings came, if we call the blessings after Avraham Avinu, Ishmael would like also to have the blessings. And if the blessings will go after Yitzchak, also Esav would say that he is the son of Yitzchak. He also deserves the blessings. That's why the blessings go to the children of Yaakov. Bnei Israel we are called. Do you understand? Which means that the blessings are only the blessings including the land of Israel, that is the Holy Land, and we deserve that from Hashem. Those blessings are only from the children, for the children of Israel, the children of Yaakov, which comes from Yitzchak and Avraham, but not for Ishmael and Esav. Definitely not. So I would like to tell you, Bezrat Hashem, שיגיע המשיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן. Next week is the fast of י"ז בתמוז, the 17th of Tammuz. We will speak about it, Bezrat Hashem, next Wednesday. The fast is on Tuesday. I think it starts around 3:40 in the morning. Okay, 3 something in the morning it starts. י"ז בתמוז, the 17th of Tammuz. I would like to bless all of you, בעזרת השם, שיגיע משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן. אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב. לעולם ייפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה, יחיד ברבים הלכה כרבים. God bless you. תהיו בריאות.